thinking what can make things better. That's why we are saying it. Maybe when I say it, make you feel uncomfortable. Then tell me, how can I say it so you won't feel uncomfortable? Okay? We need to teach each other. Okay? Because I don't know you. You're new to me. How do I know what kind of language won't offend you? Okay? Then tell them, just like same thing, you're teaching student. When student make a wrong mistake, make a mistake, right? Then correct them. What is the correct way of saying it? Right? Same thing, teacher, co-teacher. I really don't like how, the way that you tell me, but I prefer if you next time you can tell me this. Hopefully things can turn out. Okay? All right, then how do we do the team teaching? This model is not easy to achieve. It requires two secure, unselfish, and trained professionals who are not intimidated by each other. It requires teachers who are strongly devoted to their schools and students and teachers who are innovative and willing to share ownership of ideas. Too often, I hear foreign teacher and native teachers talk about my classroom. This model requires a mindset of our classroom, which I already talked about. This is what I learned from this teacher. I think this is very important. Every time when you start talking, talk to your co-teacher with a certain kid, we often start with, hey, my class, blah blah blah. Try to change that to our, Lisa, that kid's in our classroom, blah blah blah, Linda, blah blah blah. Start talking. So that kind of, and first, foremost, I think we possess a great, and then the following is his experience, with the teacher. First and foremost, I think we possess a great deal of professional respect for each other. We have a common philosophy of co-teaching. The instruction of the children in our care is our mutual responsibility. This is not just her classroom or my classroom, but our classroom. And we both share equally in the responsibility to create an environment where we can give our students the best opportunity to learn the English language. In a co-teaching situation, usually it turns out that feel like co-teacher is in charge of behavior management. That's not 100% true. Usually, when you see a kid talking, I would suggest that you stop it right away. Stop that kid right away. Okay. That way, you can also tell the kids, hey, we're in the classroom. This is the rule that we set up. Okay. When especially we are talking about special kids, with emotional problems or active kids, overactive kids. These are kind of things. If it gets too wild, then let the Chinese teacher take over, and then you can go on with the class with the rest of the students. That's how we usually divide the responsibility. However, if it's just a minor incidents, the kids is not paying attention, you should call on the kid's name right away. Get his attention right away to you. Okay? All right. Not wait until the Chinese teacher will walk over and do something else. Okay? All right. And to develop a common philosophy requires a great deal of time and effort. We have set aside a time period for mutual planning and preparation for our classes each week. There is a fixed schedule. The lesson plan is our plan, not just the foreign teacher's lesson plan. We treat preparation as equally as important as presentation. Okay, this is what we keep saying. Okay, and then my co-teacher and I are more creative together than alone. Creativity also requires time. We encourage each other to think creatively. Think together creatively. When I finish a class with my co-teacher, I feel a great sense of accomplishment. Our students know when we put a great deal of time into preparing for our classes, they can see that we care about them simply by the time we spend to prepare for our time with them. It affects the classroom management, and the kids are less bored and involved in the process. Okay, I don't want to read the whole thing, but basically, time. You need to spend time. Preparation. I usually often think that preparation, it's equally as important as, some teacher can write a perfect present it, you know, and some teacher vice versa. They write a not very good lesson plans, but somehow they're a natural teacher. When they jump into the classroom, when they walk into the classroom, they can start teaching. So that, you know, so you have to kind of try it out. Okay, all right. So, so my answer, a couple answers to what is co-teaching. Okay, so teachers. So we from a stranger to become co-workers didn't ask. Okay, we cooperate. We look. Cooperation is important. Okay, create what kind of relationship that we create between two of us, or what kind of lessons that we create. Okay, all right. And the most important is over 13 years course of it, 13 years, we believe that co-teaching, our goal is to create a win-win situation. Teachers are happy, kids are happy. Kids are happy learners, and teachers are happy teachers in the classroom. That's what we want. And we want 1 + 1, 2 teachers in the classroom that can create bigger than 2 teachers in the classroom. That's what we want. Okay, that's the maximum goal that you want. So I hope that you can set up that. Okay, so we hope that students can learn effectively and teachers can teach effectively. Effectiveness is what we are aiming for. Okay, nowadays what school is looking for is what? The material that you prepare for the kids. How much have the kids learned? How well have the kids learned? That's what we want to know. That's what we want to see. Okay, that's the goal for co-teaching. Okay, all right. This is not smiley face and this front face or whatever you call it. Doesn't mean that ability-wise. It involves a lot of things. Ability, personality. Okay. Doesn't mean that this is the best situation. Both teachers are strong, both teachers are active, both teachers are outgoing. That will make the best team ever. That's not true. So what I'm saying that this is to show you. Try to work each other. You have to get to know your teacher. This teacher is and then try to again 1 + 1. Try to make it more than 2. That's what I'm aiming for. Okay? All right. All right, 3 phases of co-teaching. You already know that. First one is before class, what we say is preparation, right? And then after the preparation, we bring that lesson plan that you prepared into the classroom, that bring into the second stage is presentation. And after the presentation, we talk about what is working, what is not working, and we do if we can do a quick adjustment with the next class, then we can do that. If it's something too big that we cannot adjust right away, then you need to bring it back to the lesson plan meeting, and then we talk it over and we readjust to a better lesson plan. So basically, this 3 cycle is going on and every week, going on and on and on. And again, remember we talked about where you're sitting. So if you have an office, English teacher's office, that would be great. And then if you don't, and then if all the English teachers are sitting together, talk to them often, talk to each other often, and then so you can also get better understanding of each other and also the kids and the lesson plans. Okay, so these are the 3 phases that you cannot miss anything. Okay, so before preparation, of course, these are the things that you need to have. Okay, which I think some of them are already I talk about. But here, the number 3, meeting time. I don't know. Maybe you still haven't have a chance to meet every co-teacher yet. But at Ximen, we have a habit every time when the teacher get a schedule sheet, okay, and then we will look at each other's empty blocks, okay. How the lesson plan meeting is done is, for example, Kath and I are teaching grade 2 together, so I only meet with her with the grade 2 lesson plans. So when Kath is talking about grade 3 and grade 4 lesson plans, I won't get involved. Okay, so we all have an empty blocks. So you need to do is right in the beginning of the semester, we fix that. We just block that empty block and write down. Monday, 6th period, G2 lesson plan meeting. But you block it doesn't mean that you have to meet every week. And the lesson plan meeting can be short or long. It depends how much you want to talk about. You know, some school, they do lesson plans by unit. So it means that when we are planning to start Unit 2 next week, so you guys probably will meet this week for Unit 2. And if Unit 2 runs for 3 weeks, and then at this lesson plan meeting, you will talk all 3 weeks lessons. You go over it, okay? Some school does it this way, so you don't have to meet every week. But for us, even though we do unit lesson plans, however, every week we still need to meet maybe shortly, and then because we will quickly go over what need to be covered next week, okay? And then maybe something didn't get done for the first week, okay? Then we need to do a minor adjustment on the second week. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so do talk, because every school runs differently. But I have heard some school, they do lesson plan meeting over the mail. Means what? All you need to do is you email the lesson plan to your co-teacher. And then you have no idea if the teacher has read it or not. You know, sometimes you get feedback, maybe they'll write you feedback, and then you decide if you want to change it or not. All right. This is probably the worst situation. One more is even worse. You are probably going to encounter some of the English teachers that are hourly based. It's not a full-time teacher like me. You know, a full-time teacher like me, I'm at school from 7:40 till 5 o'clock. Okay, but the hourly teacher, they will show up before the class, and then they can pack and go when the class ends. So when are you going to talk to them? Right. Back then, nowadays we don't have any hourly teacher anymore. All our English teachers are full time, so Kath has no problem with talking to the teachers. But before, when we have an hourly teacher, we do ask the teacher that it is required to stay for a lesson plan meeting. However, not every school is demanding that. So if you happen to have that kind of situation, you need to sit down and find out what is the best solution. You know, either ask, what's the point of even if you ask the teacher to come in 10 minutes early or 20 minutes early, what's the point of going over? You know, that part is what? Just letting you know what's going to be happening after 20 minutes, what's going to be happening in that classroom. That's not a lesson plan meeting, because a lesson plan meeting requires that you guys talk it over. You know, even though you draft up the majority of the lesson plan, that we need to go it over and then, see what can be, to modify it and then to make it into our lesson plan. That's what the purpose of lesson plan meeting. Okay, so if you see something that's not workable, please do talk to your head teacher. And again, every time I say modify, when I see something that I hope Kath wouldn't mind, because I used her the lesson plan that she emailed me. You know, we do email this time, because why? Because we didn't have a chance, because she's in training this week. Okay, so the first week that we use email, but when the school starts, that's not going to be happening. Okay, I use her so I can give you kind of feedback, what kind of feedback I gave to her, and then what kind of response that she gave me as an example, how we do that. Okay, so going over lesson plan doesn't mean complain. Okay, when I see something is not workable, then I would tell the foreign teacher, I say, well, the here doesn't look right, but here's my suggestion. I always offer suggestion, and then you can take my suggestion and think it over, see if it fits your personality, if it fits your whatever, if you feel comfortable of doing it. If you don't, please give me your feedback again. I don't think your suggestion is working for me because blah blah blah. And here is what I think. Then you give me your feedback again. Then let me think about it again. See, this coming back and forth, that's how we make things work to achieve a better lesson plan. And the first unit is most important. Why? Because every unit is designed the same thing, right? Once you pass by the first unit, the rest just follows, right? That's how you chop it every week. The only thing different is what? The content and the activity, right? Pretty much, it runs. Okay, all right, so that's the lesson plan meeting that you need to watch for. Okay, all right. No with an explanation, I already mentioned. Okay, that's important. Okay, in presentation, in the classroom, teachers role, okay? And then the click, what works between two teachers? I cannot give you any answers. We all have to build up that relationship when we start co-teaching. But our relationships start building, not in the classroom only, but also in what? In discussion, in the preparation hub. Because we keep coming back and forth. So I get to know Kath, and Kath gets to know me better. So we'll find out, oh, Lisa is like blah, blah, blah. Lisa is this kind of teacher, blah, blah, blah. She is blah, blah, blah. So that kind of start building, that kind of image start building in your head. So you will know when you are working with this teacher, things that you need to watch for. And same thing with, I'm co-teaching with two teachers. So I will know Kath and Anna, they have two different teaching skills and teaching styles. That's I have to work with them as well, okay? The flow, we watch you, how the flow is how flow is going in the classroom. I wouldn't suggest, even though you will have the lesson plan handy, okay, on the desk, but I wouldn't suggest that a foreign teacher keep going back to the lesson plan, or you need a co-teacher to remind you. Okay, important thing is before the classroom, if you're a kind of teacher that you can't remember what's next, what follows, then you need to maybe go over your lesson before the class starts. During the break time, go over the lesson again. So kind of go over in your head, and then have everything set up. Especially we really don't like to see teachers that the flashcards scattered all over. Sometimes even you're teaching 5 words, there's a sequence to it. These are the kind of things that we watch for as well. If you do not organize your flashcard, you just randomly pick up the word that you start teaching. Sometimes it's not logical. So we were asking teachers, when we're looking at your lesson plan, sometimes we'll watch for your logic as well. Maybe you should do this first. I will put an arrow to the lesson plan. I will tell you, I will circle the section and say, maybe you should do this first, and then you do that. Because if you do this, you build up an ability. With this ability, then we do that, then the kids can do better. So when you're doing lesson plan, that logic thing is also important. Okay? All right. So, and then timing, okay? And then also sometimes every class is different. Sometimes you need to be spontaneous when you're playing an activity. Some class works, some class doesn't. Then are you having the ability to change it right away, to make a minor changes right away? Okay, so that's the thing that you also have to watch. Okay, and then after the class, of course, it's adjustment. Like I said, a quick discussion if it can be done. All right, if not, then we bring it back. Okay, and then confrontation. Confrontation seems a negative word. I don't know how you guys feel about confront. If a teacher says, oh, let me confront you or something. Basically, we think it's a negative word. And then, again, you already know Taiwanese teacher are more, curving type. So make sure, if you don't understand, after a long talk, and if you don't come to a conclusion, please do ask. Okay, Lisa, tell me what you want me to do. in 2 sentences, see if I can give it them. Okay, just make sure, otherwise if we don't get things straightened out, it's really hard. I'm not happy with your teaching, you're not happy with my help, then that relationship is not going to be solid and working in the right direction. Okay, all right. And the last thing is, preparation is as important as the presentation. Okay, don't think that you're a natural teacher. You can just pick up the stuff and start teaching. That's usually not true. Especially, our kids is not like kids in Singapore. Our kids, their English environment is only in your classroom, right? And then in your co-teaching classroom, sometimes there's some Chinese involved, mixed. So that would take away maybe 10 minutes of their English immersion. Okay, so that tells you, even though you're teaching grade 5 kids, you think they have 4 years of English learning. Don't think they're the same English level as the kids back in the States. Definitely not. You will find kids in grade 5 or grade 6 still have trouble with alphabet, writing in the 4 correcting space. Okay? When you tell them to open your book to page 79, they still have trouble understand 79. Please say things over, especially when you give command. Repeat it a couple times. All right, 79. Instead of writing on the board, or some Chinese teacher just start saying 79. That's the worst thing. 79. 70. Nice. Especially something that you think majority of the kids should know. Please repeat them and make sure, look at every pair of eyes. Make sure that kids know them. Don't just give answers right away. Sometimes be patient with the kids. Only you repeat it over and over again, you can get to them. If you ask me, having you guys in the Hsinchu public system, is our kids' pronunciation better? Depends. I have trouble. When I tell the kids, L, M, how, okay, and they write down M, kids can correct me. Teacher, it's not M. Yeah. L. Kids have 4 years of English learning. You cannot still correct it. The L, they'll still tell you M, M-N-O-L. Somehow, but you just have to be patient with them. Every time when they say it, you ask them to repeat. Hopefully, some kids, you cannot change everybody, but hopefully some kids can change towards you. And when you are asking the whole class to chant the dialogue or chant a rhyme or whatever, watch for intonation. I don't know if you watch TV. My kids, we were watching TV. There's a Bushiban's ad, and then somehow at the end, the group of kids saying, "How do you do?" That's you're gonna get. Are you gonna accept that? When kids read the story or the dialogue or a little paragraph, you ask them to do. What is your standard? You need to set it up. If they go like this, because that's how they do it in Chinese classroom. Nobody asks them. But here, if you're a teacher that cares so much, if you have a goal of, in my classroom, I cannot accept this kind of robotic chanting, then you need to do something. But you need to be patient with them. Then I will stop them right away. Hey. How do you do? How do you do? Ask them to repeat. Stop them where you're not happy. Stop them right away. Ask them to do it again. You have a CD-ROM. Play it. Sometimes you can play it because it's always recorded by foreigners. Okay? Repeat it. Ask them to repeat it. Ask them to learn like a parent. Okay? So that's how but you need to be consistent. You need to be patient with the kids. That's what I'm saying. It takes a lot of time, especially if you're teaching older kids. They already have 4 years of English saying, how do you do? It is red. It is a red book. That's how they're gonna give it to you. If you're not happy, and wait until they meet you, having you in the classroom, and a teacher suddenly realize, hey, I don't want you to say this. Oh my God, it's so hard to change it. So that's why I'm saying, if you have a chance teaching a little kid, you need to watch that too. Okay, because that's what's happening in the Chinese classroom, in the math classroom, in the science classroom. But if you care, but however, you only meet them once a week. That's your disadvantage. So because you have that disadvantage, more time to work. Okay, all right. Okay, you already know this, right? Okay, co-teaching in grade 1 and grade 2, and then grade 3 and grade 4. You are in one co-teaching classroom, and your Chinese teacher is teaching alone in her classroom. Okay, and then grade 5 and grade 6. This change happened only 3. This is going to be the 3rd year. Okay, the Chinese teacher teaches 2 classes. Okay, and the foreign teacher is teaching what we call an international program. Okay, which you're gonna learn more about international program tomorrow. Okay, all right. I think I'm gonna skip this. 11:30. Okay. I think I will talk about some of the activity that you might be using in the classroom. Some of the things that operating activity. Because later on we're gonna work hands-on lesson plan. Okay, so you're gonna put activity in there. So things that I want to remind you when you put activity or design, think about what kind of activity you're gonna use in the lesson. All right, think about the operating procedures. How you're going to explain to the kids. So during the lesson plan meeting, besides tell each other what you're going to teach, how you're going to teach it is also important, right? Because if you cannot simply either demonstrate it in the classroom or give a simple procedure to the kids wouldn't understand. So you two need to sit down, and okay, Lisa, when we're doing this, I'm going to ask you to come out and model it with me. So I will know when it's time that when we're gonna do that activity, I know that's the time for me to jump out and do a little activity demonstration. So you guys need to know that, okay? Not calling me right hand and then I have no idea what you want me here. Okay, that's what the lesson plan is for. Okay, model before play, confirm and adjust. What am I saying? I don't remember. Let's skip it. All right, and then class. When you are doing an activity, it's very rowdy. If it involves ball, big or small, okay. If it involves running around in the classroom, that you need to watch for how you manage the classroom, because you don't want to turn the class into chaos that you cannot control. Okay, kids have so much fun playing, and then it turns out you get mad. Shut up! Sit down! You don't want to do that because that kills all the fun, right? So before you, when you guys are planning, think about how this activity is. These are the things that you need to also think ahead. How to avoid that kind of thing happen. A fun game can only turns out in a good result is because it's carefully planned. Every step of the way, and then it's carefully modeled. That every kid understand the rules. That can only call a good activity. Okay, if it and then I know what I'm going to say. Confirm and adjust. Sometimes when we are talking over in the lesson plan, we think, wow, this is going to be so much fun, and you start playing in the classroom. Oh my God, it's not what you expected. That's gonna happen. So what do? I guess one of you need to be smart enough to make adjustment right away, because kids just sometimes is because when we give them instructions, somehow they have this mind. It's not going the way that we wanted. Okay, so these are things that's unexpected, that arise unexpected in the classroom. So you make sure that you can adjust it right away, and you call it a stop. If things just don't go right, you need to stop it. Right? If it gets too rousy, all right, stop everybody, be quiet. 3, 2, calm them down first, and then tell them, what went wrong. And then you start again. If it gets rowdy again, I will just call it a quit. You guys cannot touch the ball because once the ball is out, you guys are too rowdy. No more. And then so kids will know. Oh, yeah. When you ask the kids to pass the ball, what happened? They throw it across the room. You need to go and stop. Give me the ball.